Yeah, so that car right there, right? That would have been around 91 would have been the manufacturer year on that car.
Sure.
That wasn't even available to
Nerd.
legal. that wasn't even legal to own.
Of all people to call nerd.
Literally,
My dude.
literally. That's why I'm letting him have it.
Yeah, okay.
Episode Dick.
I mean,
I mean, there's probably some guys that are dicks.
well, yeah. We know everybody knows someone who's a dick.
Okay, and welcome back to another episode of Anime Dickame.
Nope, that's not what we're called. Try it again.
Anime Shmanime.
Thank you. What's up, Mikey? You're Mikey Lee.
Yeah, I'm Mikey Lee,
And
your
I'm
host.
Jordy
Hedderwick. And then we got
That's-
Senpai.
J.
That's
Beckett.
me.
Yeah.
Jay Beckett.
Yeah, it feels
What's
good
up?
being back in the studio. We haven't done this in a minute.
It's been a minute.
I missed you both immensely.
I missed you too. We've been busy.
Yeah.
we missed you Schweebs too.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
missed you,
we
Shweebs.
did.
I mean, I
Although
guess you
this-
guys won't really know.
This won't
No,
feel like a
you
break
didn't miss
for
us.
you.
Yeah, yeah. This won't feel like a break for you.
Because we
but,
plan it out well and we work hard for you.
We're working our fucking asses off, okay? So show some appreciation.
I'm not editing those out.
No, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's good.
They
It's
need
good.
to know that they need to appreciate us.
Yeah,
Yeah, they need to be
sure.
told.
It's
My-
good.
my
It's good energy. I mean, we're
Yeah.
firing on all cylinders,
What do you mean by that?
Womp womp. But I'm just
like an inline six
What's that?
an F-16.
What's that?
What is it? Is it FR?
in an
FR
A,
something.
in an AE 86.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in an 85 for
Panda.
sure.
Panda Torino.
Your guys' heads are spinning like a rotary engine in an FDRX7.
One of us really likes cars. Can you tell who it is?
Hey, pump the brakes, okay? I'll stop.
Gutter
No,
drift.
It's okay.
Gutter
You'll
drift.
have plenty of opportunity.
I'm done.
Okay.
So if you haven't guessed by Jay's rambling or by the screen here that literally just says what it is, today we're covering Initial D.
Yeah.
Yes.
And again, guys, spoiler alert. We are going to spoil absolutely everything in
As
the first
always.
stage. We didn't get past season 1. Well, I mean, I watched all the seasons long ago, but
Yeah.
I finally did
Yeah.
a rewatch of this because I was like, all right, fine, fuck. Like, I don't watch.
For once in your life, you came prepared. Great. Amazing.
Well, no, all the other like old ones like that I've seen like years ago. I don't.
You're well versed.
No, I wouldn't say well versed, but it's just like, you know what it is? Like rewatching this, it was weird because I had so much nostalgia for it.
Yeah.
And I almost wish I didn't do the rewatch.
Oh, okay.
Because
it changed it for you?
it changed it for me a little bit.
Well, what's funny is I also have nostalgia for this because it felt like watching my friends play video game for 12 hours straight. Which I did a lot as a kid, to be honest with you.
That's an interesting take I wasn't expecting.
But yeah, it
say
really did feel like that. Even the graphics, the plot, and the dialogue is that experience. Like
Yeah.
people talking shit about the cars they pick or
Yeah.
who's better at racing in the games. Like the whole experience I was getting my
Yeah.
friends, our friends,
Yeah.
from when we were kids playing racing video games.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of like that meets Mortal Kombat because there's like a tiered tournament style vibe to the show where like there's the next more better racer he has to race and then beat, and the 8-6 can't win because some reason. And oh, wait, maybe he could because this, and then he wins, even though he usually shows up late or almost loses and then wins at the last minute. It really is like Monster of the Week through and through, but with cars.
Car of the week, baby.
Yeah.
I could
It
not
was car of the week.
I could not wait for you to feel that vibe, dude.
Strong.
I knew you were going to be cursing me
potent.
into the fucking universe when you realized it was Car of the
this,
Week.
this was Jay's pick, by the way, guys.
I will say there's something
I
about
do
this
like-
show
yeah.
that kept it from being painful, though. I don't know what it was. I had ideas, but I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it's like the perpetual hype vibe, because the whole show is just hype all the way
yeah.
through.
Yeah.
And then also it could just be Itsuki because he fucking kills me top to
Dude.
bottom. He
Dude.
made me laugh over and over and over and over again. Yeah, and there's still a lot to criticize, but the thing is with this show is like, in comparison to Beck, which we just watched, like the premise alone had me amped up. This show didn't really have a lot to offer me from opening the door. Like, I don't really care about cars.
I was anticipating all of this, dude. It's coming into fruition. I'm like, this is literally like payback for Beck. Yeah. You know?
Fuck you, man. Beck was amazing.
I know, I know. But you guys have that bias, whereas I have that with cars.
Yeah.
I've always been such a like secret car fucking neat nerd. You know what I mean? Like,
you
most
told us
people
that,
who know that, like, who know me, probably don't know like how into fucking cars I am.
Yeah.
And like, this is just like,
well, this is a show for you. And in Beck, many
man.
times it came up that like this is probably not a show for non-band, non-music folks. You know what I mean? Like,
this is,
to me, I felt it was like very engaging and well written. You disagreed. But like, again, if you're not a band guy, you could probably like give or take that show. And same with this for cars.
100%.
Yeah. That being said, like when I was a kid, this kind of shit used to go down at Markham Bypass in Markham.
Oh yeah, dude.
And so like there was a little bit of a connection for me in my life because some of my friends did go down there and dabble, I guess, or stand on the sidelines while other people raced.
Or
everybody
like
knows street racing a little bit, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen Fast
That's
and
what I said.
Furious
Every
and-
town has their Mount Nakina.
Yes.
Well,
Right?
this is the original Tokyo Drift. This is the original Tokyo Drift.
Okay, yeah.
And like
this anime actually helped popularize like drifting
Sure.
as a thing.
Yeah.
Just in the driving culture, period. This is hugely influential in that way. And like, and the other cool thing is that all of these locations that are featured in the show are real locations.
Are they really?
You can go and visit.
Can you race them?
Well, people do, man. People do. That's why
at 10
they were-
o'clock on Saturday.
That's
That's because
no,
the only
dude.
time.
Literally, you drive up to that fucking water tower where
Yeah.
they meet at the top of that fucking mountain pass.
Yeah.
And there are fucking people who go up there with their cars, man, and they'll do car meetups up there.
Yeah. How
And,
many
like,
people have
the
died
man-
trying to
all-
drift on their way down that mountain, do you think?
I don't know, man.
There's got to be a statistic somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember like you were saying in Markham because I was by 16th and Woodbine. So
Oh, okay.
anybody who lived in Markham or
Yeah.
knows that area in Canada, Ontario.
Yeah. Oh, you had a good street for it too.
Yeah, we had a quarter mile
I remember that.
straight.
And it was
So
a straight shot. No stop signs? There was a stop sign.
No, there were stoplights, and there was 2 stoplights, but it was a perfect quarter mile.
Yeah.
And it was like I would go, and I lived right on that street, so
Yeah.
I would go and just sit on my front deck and like watch these cars go nuts.
Oh, you're talking about Woodbine.
Yeah,
Oh,
Woodbine.
I was talking the street behind you, Markland, that has that like, and now everyone knows where you used to live.
Yeah, where I used to live.
Yeah, don't go there. Some random family will see you.
Yeah. I'm not there anymore. I'm actually very far away from that now.
or maybe not too far.
You'll have to go there and find out.
Yeah. Just
point
go there
being-
and take a picture of yourself there and then send it to us.
No one's doing that.
No.
But if you want to run a good quarter mile,
No one's doing that.
yeah, I guess that's my general thoughts. Let's get some history,
I'm
some background. Do you have more to say?
didn't- No, I'm surprised you didn't give me any like witty like description of the.
It's like
Mortal
it's like video
Kombat
games
and-
meets Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Okay.
Mortal
that's
Kombat is a
fair.
video
Yeah.
game.
Wait, so because this came out in what 98? Yeah, 98.
1998.
Yeah,
What
this
was
was-
the top racing game at the time? Was it like Need for Speed?
Need
or
for
like,
Speed was probably a big one.
Gran
Cruising,
Turismo.
Cruising USA
Gran
in the
Turismo.
arcade?
Yeah, on the arcades. Yeah, for sure.
But you got to think in Japan, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, and that's the interesting thing is that a lot of these cars, like, they feed into this culture within the whole car culture, which is people that are passionate about Japanese cars in particular,
Sure.
JDM cars,
Yeah.
cars that were made for the Japanese domestic market only,
Okay.
that you could not get in North America.
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, Nakazato eyebrows in the black car.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The one that didn't drift.
Yeah, so that car right there, right? That would have been around 91 would have been the manufacturer year on that car.
Sure.
That wasn't even available to
Nerd.
that wasn't even legal to own.
Of all people to call nerd,
Literally,
my dude.
literally. That's why I'm letting him have it.
Yeah. Okay.
So say it was 91. That car wouldn't even be legal to own in America
Yeah.
till 25 years later.
Okay.
You can't even import that car.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So there's a mystique
Yeah.
to a lot of these cars that you couldn't get them in North America. So like it just kind of fuels this like I don't know, this magic.
Yeah, this mysticism, this kind of
about these vehicles, right?
And fucking senpai dropping knowledge bombs, man.
Instead of a history on the show segment, we're gonna get a history on each car one by one.
Literally name each car, dude. I'll fucking go in, dude.
I couldn't, to be honest with you, except 8.6 and 8.5.
Well, 8.6 was a Toyota, and that they didn't say that in the show.
It's technically a Corolla.
Yeah.
Okay?
What the fuck?
It's a Toyota Corolla, but it happened to get released with this like oddly like really good race spec that year in Japan.
Weird.
And then it got actually driven and drifted by this professional race car driver who ended up making kind of like this underground mixtape of drifting, where it was actually him on the hills in Japan on the Tuge, like that's the term they use for the windy mountain roads.
Okay, yeah.
And he was just ripping in this fucking thing. And,
Wow.
and it's such a sleeper.
Was
you know
that
what I
before
mean?
the show?
Yeah, this was when the car actually first came out in like late 80s.
Okay. So the
right?
show is probably based on that.
He was a huge consultant on the creation of the show.
Interesting.
He was hugely involved in the creation of the show.
Okay.
This is the most in-depth.
Takumi's father is kind of a loose representation.
It's based on him, maybe.
Of him.
Okay, cool.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
So that car was legendary before the anime even came out, and then the anime knew that. It was legendary, like it was infamous.
Yeah, sure.
And then this
Underground
legendary,
kind of vibes.
this anime took it to like a legendary status after that, and now you can go to car meetups that are just 86s only.
Wow.
And like 90% of them are the fucking black and white panda color.
Yeah,
with
of course.
with the tofu shop decal on the side. You know. Like,
yeah.
But how cool would that be to own? You know what I mean? To cruise around
For you.
have a little cup of water in the fucking cup
You got to
holder.
roll the water. You got to roll the water.
And actually, in Japan, at the base of the mountain where this is actually all based around Akina, there is an actual like rental car place that is like all themed after this, and they rent out cars that are painted like the cars, and you can go there, rent it, and they'll take you out on the hills.
That's
and
pretty cool.
They have a professional drift racer, and she goes out with you, and so she'll take you out driving first, and then you'll swap seats, and then you can actually give it a shot and try and.
Cool.
You're not full blown drifting like they do in the races, but you're giving it.
Oh wait, is it what's her name
as you go up?
From the other mountain that they go? What's her name?
Mako?
Mako. Yeah.
Mako. Yeah.
That's actually my favorite arc in this whole season.
We'll get to that one.
Yeah, I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. There's some interesting shit to get to with that.
Okay, do you have history on the show, or are you gonna just leave it at history in the cars? Because I'm cool either way.
I have a thing.
Give us a background.
Yeah.
All right,
get it all out.
So it's a Japanese street racing manga and anime.
Cars on the brain.
Manga and anime series produced by Obi Planning and Prime Direction that began airing on Fuji TV in Japan on April 18th, 1998. The initial series ran for 26 weekly episodes, with the finale airing on December 5th, 1998. The story focuses on the world of illegal Japanese street racing, where all the action is concentrated on the mountain passes, and with drifting racing style emphasized in particular. Professional race car driver and pioneer of drifting, Keiichi Tsuchiya, helped with editorial supervision. The story is centered on the prefecture of Gunma, more specifically on several mountains in the Kanto region and in their surrounding cities and towns. Although some of the names of the locations the characters race in have been fictionalized, all of the locations in the series are based on actual locations in Japan. So you can go see them. They like have the manhole covers are painted, like with the cars and stuff.
Cool,
it's fucking crazy, man. So yeah, Takumi.
Road trip.
Takumi, dude,
not
don't
during
even
COVID.
Start, Takumi Fujiwara is an 18-year-old high school student, uninterested in most things, while delivering tofu every day to a hotel in Akina. Along with his best friend Itsuki Takuchi, they both work part-time at a gas station. One day, while delivering tofu, Takumi begins to become a racer himself, just as he passes Keisuke Takahashi and his Mazda RX-7 in an impromptu race. This attracts the attention of the Akagi Red Sons, who seek to defeat the Ghost of Akina. Takumi's victory against Keisuke Takahashi in a rematch attracts other teams who seek to challenge him, such as the Miyogi Night Kids. Yeah, that's a little breakdown of that first season. And, Yeah, man.
Cool. Thanks for that.
Yeah, dude. Let's dig in.
Okay, cool. We'll start up top with the world like we always do, but again, it's just Japan.
Yes.
And I'll
Yeah.
say this, I think, is the plainest Japan we've seen yet.
Yeah,
Like, it's literally just mountain passes and a gas station and a school once or twice. And that's all you see the whole show,
Yeah.
right?
Parasite was similarly.
Yeah,
plain.
Parasite had a
but-
lot of locations, though.
But
this
the
had
other
All
thing-
the same.
Yeah, but the other thing
Sure.
though
Beck,
is
same.
Beck had a lot of more places too, towns and scenery, the festival at the end. This literally was just roads, gas station, school.
so I think this with this anime being from the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Low budget. Right? It was one of
Yeah.
the first ones that had integrated CGI into the anime.
Yeah, which
Right.
actually will segue us nicely into our art conversation. So it did have that old school animation, that
Yeah.
low budget hand drawn. And then the CGI animation, I'll be honest with you, was like kind of wonky for me, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's so janky.
Okay,
it's
okay.
jarring. It doesn't nest nicely in the other art.
Okay,
right?
so let me
No,
go
they're
off
just
for a second
floating.
here.
Yeah.
So this is where I wish, like all the other episodes that we've done so far, where I
Yeah.
didn't watch the anime, coming back into
Because it doesn't hold up.
You
It
actually
just-
stayed
it-
in La La Land.
yeah, like where I like all the other ones, I'm just full of nostalgia for, and
Yeah.
like it's great, and I'm all happy, and then I go back, and it like the pacing's not as like the pacing wasn't too bad,
Yeah.
but it was just like, oh, this is not nearly as vibrant as I remember it being.
No, it's very gray and
Yeah.
plain looking, and again
Dull.
the CG
Dull.
and the CG just didn't quite land for me.
Yeah.
I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to like bring the cars a little bit more into the realm of reality versus the animation, which is clearly cartoon. But like the CG was so far from like even the Uncanny Valley at the time. Like you weren't even close to looking real. It just looked like a different, weirder cartoon.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
and this is the thing, right? Like where I would say, like if I didn't watch this coming again, doing the rewatch for this episode,
Yeah.
I would have been just like, oh yeah, fucking watch it. It's the best thing. But now, no, I'm all like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
How do I defend this?
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to because I'm coming at you, bro.
Don't worry. I got this one, guys.
Jay's gonna
big
probably.
shoulders.
Yeah.
So like the other thing, the character design is unique. Like the faces are strangely shaped
Yes.
compared to any
Yeah.
other anime.
That's
right?
also old school style. That's also particular to this
It must
manga
be
artist.
Yeah,
The
because I've
manga
never
artist.
seen
Yeah.
anything like that before. They're usually like much more like down a lane that's more similar, and this was felt like a different lane of style of drawing.
Yeah, because like Mikey said, it's representative of that mangaka, that
Yeah.
particular artist. You know, this
Yeah.
is taken right from somebody's like the guy who wrote it also drew it.
Sure.
You know, so
Yeah.
and they kept it very true to his style. Now, what I will say is that the second season, there is a massive upgrade
Okay.
to the
Yeah.
visual styling
Sure.
of this show.
I should hope so.
The character
Yeah, at
this
design
point,
is
yeah.
better.
There's also a lot of other questions that you probably had during this first season
that
Yeah.
will get answered.
that will get answered later.
We'll see.
But-
I don't have a lot of questions to be honest with you. Like it pretty
Yeah.
much was there for you. Like it was there for you, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll talk about art is like much like in Beck again, where they had like scenes of the guitar playing where they were like actually playing guitar. In this, there were scenes of driving that I assume like were accurate of the way you would drive, the way the feet were moving on the pedals,
Yep.
and like the shifting in the gear. I don't know because like I just drive my car to work and around.
Yeah.
But like, was that true? Is
yeah,
it like
they
Yeah.
definitely put an emphasis on the
Okay.
realisticness of the driving. That's why they had Tsuchiya like on hand to
Sure.
kind of look at that. And if you do watch any actual video of guys drifting and like
it's similar?
their
Very
feet
similar.
are
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
you know, it's not like Fast and Furious where Vin Diesel is driving in a straight line
And you're just looking
he-
at his face going,
and he's just he shifts 25 times.
Yeah.
He's driving like a 5-speed car.
yeah.
You know, I swear there's one movie where he's driving an automatic and he's still fucking ba-bam, ba-bam, like every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
This is
This
a
is
lot
more- yeah.
more like
Yeah.
realistic to
Cool.
what it is.
Well, I
Wait.
assumed that and appreciated it based on my assumption. So
Yeah.
I'm
Nice.
glad
Yeah,
it landed.
I can confirm.
Wait,
Okay, cool.
I want to digress here for a second. How
Sure.
did you find? Because I know how you found it because we made you watch it. but Jay, how did you find this anime? Like, what was your introduction to it? How did you like stumble upon it?
Cars, really. It's just like car culture stuff, you know, like just being into cars and obviously being particularly into like Japanese cars and the import scene. Like you always see these cars, you see it on message boards, people are talking about it. They've got, you know, profile pictures that are certain anime characters, and being into anime as well. Eventually you just look for anime based on other thing I like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and then the things are just connected. But
There's always something.
and then I realized how big this was. Like that this is actually like a really beloved series, and it's had tons of renditions over the years. There's been live action. There's been and like I said, now these communities are basically built around the tourism that the show provides.
Isn't that interesting that there's like, just much like the like raunchy Rule 34 in porn, there's like an anime version of that where like whatever you're into, there's an anime of it. We've covered cars for you. We've got band stuff for us. And like there's even an anime for people who like to dress up as maids.
Yeah.
Right?
But
There's a lot of that. There's
more
a lot of that.
specifically, if you like to dress up as maids and your favorite thing in the world is dragons.
There's an anime for
We
you.
get real specific here.
Yeah.
You know?
Anime doesn't fuck around.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm glad you know that.
And I'm sure it'll get gross when you force a hentai on me too, and there'll be some other.
Wait until the hentai episode, guys.
Well, one other thing I want to say
Black.
about
Bible Black,
I want to
guys.
say about the art is that I definitely agree with the CGI cars definitely being something that takes you out of it.
Yeah.
It was trying to kind of be groundbreaking. There wasn't really precedent for anything like that before.
Okay.
So
Like the blending of the two styles.
yeah, or nobody tried that with CGI integration into anime. Like it just wasn't a common thing, let alone with like, CGI models of actual vehicles that exist in real life that people are familiar with and love and adore and are looking for accuracy on.
Sure. Full disclosure, you did tell me that before we watched the show. So again, don't know anything about cars, but knowing that these were real cars was something I could appreciate the effort of.
And I will
the
say,
execution of is a different story.
well, I will say,
I feel like Jay needs to come sit here.
there are shots and there are scenes that are hand-drawn versions of the cars.
Okay. I feel like I maybe caught one or two.
They're there.
Yeah.
They're sporadic. I know that they're there because I take like screenshots of this anime. Like it's like no, and it's because when they actually take the time to draw out these cars by hand, they're gorgeous and they're beautifully rendered. And I really wish
they just
that
went with
just
that.
done that
Yeah,
the whole way. And
that's
it would
a
have been
bummer.
so much fucking work.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been so worth it, and it would have
It gone a long way.
fucking legendary.
Yeah.
It would have
top to
gone a
bottom.
long way.
But
Yeah.
now it's unfortunately, as legendary as this is, there's always going to be, like Mikey said, that shadow of the fact that this has not aged well.
It didn't land. Yeah.
It's not aged
It,
well.
it's like like if you haven't seen it, guys, you definitely should watch it still. I think it's still worth a watch
For the culture.
Depends who
for the
you are.
culture.
Depends who you are.
Yeah,
For the culture.
For the culture, for like understanding history of the anime and how big of an impact it has. It's
Unless
like
you
just kinda,
hate cars. Like Jordy doesn't like cars, but
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't hate cars.
Yeah.
No, I don't hate them.
Right. But
I
if
just
you
don't
really
care
hate
that
cars,
much for them.
yeah.
then you're probably going to hate this.
Yeah, because there's really
That's
nothing else
fair.
for you in this show.
It's
Yeah,
just a
it's
lot
fair.
of that.
But
Yeah.
I also so for me, the reason why I used to love this show so much is because when I found it in the 90s, is like, there wasn't like the internet to watch things on. Everything wasn't readily consumable.
Sure.
So the way that I found it was actually I was at my cousin's place, and he and I weren't really close, and he wasn't even there, and I just started rummaging through his room.
Oh, classic.
Right, and be like,
What else did you find?
No, actually, I found a lot of cool stuff.
Like what?
Gundam manga,
Yeah.
like that, and other animes. But he had the DVD set of this.
Okay.
And like I didn't know what Initial D was, and then I popped this in, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking sick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That Eurobeat starts playing, and you're just like,
oh man, let's wait until we get to the fucking music.
While we're there, we can talk about the music right now.
Yeah, we might as well.
Sure, that's where we are. The first thing is the opening theme could be a Beck tune.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
Right away,
I
I
don't
was
want
like-
to talk about the OP theme. I want to talk about
The
fucking
Eurobeat remixes of 80s already dance music.
yeah. No. Didn't the first half of the first season at the end, the ending theme?
Yeah.
Wasn't that just like what's
was
that
just-
band? Butterfly.
Oh, Crazy Town?
Crazy
What
Town.
made me laugh was it was a
Crazy
combo of animated cars and in real life music video
real
actors.
people. Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing here? Like, what is this?
The real people come in, and
Yeah.
you're just like, what's that?
I had the same reaction, dude. It was
One
so
guy
silly.
was all fucking like painted in like
Yeah.
like flowers
like the,
and
like
shit.
the Prodigy
it-
or something. He was like acting all weird. Yeah.
Dude, man, the
Yeah.
90s were crazy.
Yeah, Electric Circus, man.
That's
That's what we watched.
We all
Yeah.
lived through it.
We did, yeah. The only other note I have on the music is that there's like a romance theme that was like
Yeah.
super slow and draggy and lame.
Yeah.
And as we'll get
Oh,
into later,
yeah.
so was the romance. But like It was
the romance is an interesting thing, but we'll get back into that.
Okay.
I want to talk about the cars for a second.
Again?
Because no, just
I guess that's all there is to talk about.
Yeah, the whole show's about the cars.
Hey,
Yeah.
some of us want to talk about the car.
Exactly, because here's the best thing.
Okay, you guys go ahead.
Because here's the best thing about cars is that if you get in your car and you go on your phone and you go to,
He wants to actually talk about cars, though.
I kind of feel betrayed right now.
Finish your joke, though. Finish your thing.
Well, you guys know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but you have to do it now.
Like and
wherever you
subscribe,
really
motherfuckers.
like, subscribe,
Yeah.
rate.
Can I just make one other comment, though? Like, don't actually do that while you're driving.
Yeah, don't do it while you're driving.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Why do you have to make it all serious?
Because at the very beginning of this show, there's a disclaimer, and it
Yes,
tells you not
yeah.
to drive like this, which also
Yeah.
made me laugh because, like, no show about guns has a disclaimer. Why does the show about cars have to have a disclaimer?
Because the likelihood of accessing a car is much higher than a
I
gun.
guess that's true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And like I said, how many
Yeah.
people actually died on the real life Mount Akina trying to be one of these fucks?
Actually, that's a good question.
Japan's got a crazy history with street racing. There's like
Yeah.
even to this day really notorious stretches of like highway there
Yeah.
that are like heavily patrolled by police because
I'm sure.
the culture there is still so strong.
Yeah.
So you go out on any given night in Japan, man, and you might see a group of 5 or 6 guys rocking cars with the Red Suns logos over the back fender.
That's so
You know what
funny.
I mean?
Yeah.
Just like out living that life.
Just delivering tofu. Yeah.
Maybe delivering other white stuff, but
Whoa.
just saying.
Particularly a white and black car.
Just saying street.
He's talking about drugs.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, just saying street racing and drugs very very late.
Yeah. And that's another thing. We're getting ahead of my notes, but like, where were the cops in this show? No cops anywhere. Where was the seediness? It's street
Are you
racing.
saying, are you,
I
saying
can-
you missed cops? Are you, like you like cops?
I just missed any sort of element that was exciting other than cars going downhill fast.
So my issue more than the cops is just how casual. What's the fucking main character's name again?
Takumi?
Takumi. How his dad was just so casually okay with him like street racing.
Sure. Well, his
in the
dad's a
middle-
legendary racer.
which
dad
is
did it.
which I get.
Yeah.
But I mean, at some point, you got to be like, I did it, and I get why you want to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm your dad.
Well, I'm going to actually go on
Yeah.
Jay's side here because, in my opinion, like he could see the talent in his kid, and he knew his kid was as good as him, and he's like, if
And-
he's as good as me, he's fine.
And
Yeah.
spoiler alert. Okay, so
Well, the whole fucking show's a spoiler.
no,
Spoiler alert for us because he's telling me something I don't know. Am I right?
well, yeah, but
I'm fine because I'm done with the show.
right. So you know how by the end of the first season he's undefeated. Still.
Yeah.
He still hasn't lost,
Yeah.
right? About halfway through season 2,
He loses one to his dad.
no, he loses one, but that's like probably the first time like his dad knows something's up that night. He
Okay.
just kind of gets a fucking feeling.
His dad knows everything. He
His dad
always
always
knows.
gets
He
feelings.
always knows. Yeah.
You know, he goes out for a
Instincts.
cigarette,
Which is why I think
Yeah.
he's not worried. He knows.
Yeah.
and he does show up and he you know he kind of comes through for Takumi because basically real quick fucking Takumi's
Yeah.
the car breaks down the 86
Oh.
fucking breaks because
Yeah.
it's just old and
Yeah.
it's been fucking running for so long
And his dad keeps
why he
fucking with it
loses.
without telling him.
But then his dad shows up and gets him off the mountain pass in like a tow truck and like gets him home safe and all that and it's like, he comes through and it's
Yeah.
the first time he shows like
Actual
concern and
affection,
care
yeah.
for like his kid
Yeah.
other than just like he's a good racer, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like that whole mentality.
Totally. Yeah.
Actually, when
Totally.
they switch out the engine in that season too, and then
Yeah.
he's just like, "Well, this is a monster."
That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
I think I watched the wrong season.
Nah,
No, dude,
you watched the first
I
one.
think,
yeah,
I think
this
you're
was-
understanding that sometimes shows get better over time.
I guess so. Yeah. I guess so. The problem is like I'm not gonna give them the time it takes anymore. You know
That's
what I mean?
too bad.
So because there are
You're
some
lost.
shows that don't need that much time that just are good right off the bat, and that's
For
what I'm
sure.
here for.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Oh man.
Okay, let's get into the fucking characters here.
Okay. So there's a classic trope right off the top. There's like your main dude, his pervy friend, and a popular girl trope.
Yeah.
Like that seems to be a trifecta of first
Not to mention,
characters.
he's like kind of like Takumi's like the reluctant hero.
Yeah, he's like man, why is he so disinterested in everything?
Well, because he,
What's the deal with that character trait, man?
They even sorry. no. So they
It is very peculiar.
It doesn't lend itself to quality character development. Because how does it?
No, like okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to talk over people.
It's okay. You go ahead.
But
You go now. It's your
Okay.
turn.
don't tell me when it's my turn.
We don't want to talk over me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I love you.
Okay.
So
now.
I think keep interrupting me. So they even explained why he is the way he is, right?
Why though? I missed that. I didn't get it.
Because he's like he's doing runs for his dad for the tofu shop all
Sure.
the time.
Yeah.
And so when he's driving, he doesn't associate joy
Yeah.
with driving because he associates that with working for his dad. So he just did random shit and drift and stuff just to make it slightly more enjoyable, but he never thought of it as racing.
But like, why is he's disinterested in everything? Constantly. I mean, there isn't much that given to you for him to be like. He doesn't
he
have
liked
much in the
girls.
show, but even that, he's like kind of like about.
But maybe that's a symptom of somebody who's been kind of overworked by their dad for a
Probably,
long time. And like
probably. It just was strange. And again, like,
Also, having a character like that, you have so much room for growth.
yeah, it's just a shame they didn't give it to him.
Yet.
Yeah, because you haven't seen
Yeah,
stage
so
2.
much.
Fair, but I'll
yeah.
always say, like, in a good show, you got to give me that growth sooner than season 2. You got to give me something to make me want to watch season 2.
Yeah, it's because you're not used to serialized anime.
Okay.
I think it's unfortunate because I mean, this story is like ongoing and running in a manga.
Sure.
They're not chopping it up necessarily into a runtime for 26 episodes that fits nicely into a TV season. You know what
Okay,
I mean?
I understand that.
Who knows how far it's going to get into the actual story by the end of the first season. They get as much in as they can.
Yeah.
They make it as watchable as possible.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate side effect of that is that sometimes
season's
you have
kinda
a rough
slow.
first season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a bummer, man. It's a real big bummer.
You gotta hope that
Also-
something
For
else.
me.
You gotta hope that something else catches you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes you want to come back, or
That
something
make
else
you
is
play the
intriguing
fucking
enough.
initial D video arcade game because that was sick.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's also a big reason why I love this show because of that
Yeah.
going to the arcade and playing that game.
I probably watched my friends play it
probably.
growing up, to be honest with you. Okay, let's get back to Takumi because there's a lot to talk about this guy. Like,
Okay.
for example, the why and the how he got good at racing. You say he just was bored doing deliveries, and so he started doing things to make it more fun.
Well, also the cup of water that he had
Make
to
it more
like.
fun and efficient as well.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah.
his goal was to get the tofu to its delivered place without it being broken.
Yeah, but
So
also
so
like,
he had to drive incredibly fast
why did he have to drive so fast though?
because he has to make deliveries, dude.
Okay,
He's
but,
making
like-
multiple deliveries, right?
Again, like,
but also he doesn't want to be out there all day.
if your business
He's got
model,
other stuff.
if your business model requires you to drive that fast to get the
It
tofu
doesn't.
delivered on time, then you have a failing business.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Then why did he do it?
Because he doesn't want to be wasting his time
But
driving
he does it in the
tofu
morning, and then he
places.
goes to school. So it's like it's
Yeah,
time.
so he could be sleeping
I get, yeah, but he's not already.
because he's
Man,
delivering
this
stuff.
is getting like really heated again, eh?
No.
Yeah,
Just because you're not the one yelling doesn't mean we're heated.
yeah. I just didn't buy it, to be honest with you. Like,
No, but like that. I'm sorry. Like that. I don't buy that at all, dude. That's not a flawed concept.
to me, it was because like again,
He doesn't. He's doing this because his dad tells him to. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to be doing it, so he wants to make it as fast and as fun as possible.
Yeah, except
Who wouldn't,
Except
right?
even when he's like super amazing at it, he still says it's not really fun for me. So like, why did you keep doing that if it was never actually fun for you?
He had to.
There's a disconnect
He's doing
between
what his
him
dad
saying
tells
I
him.
did that because I was making it more fun, and it's never really fun. So like,
He's
why
doing
did
what
you
his-
ever do that and keep doing it?
because his dad told him to.
His dad didn't tell him to drift.
No, but like
Right? He did that on his own
Yeah,
to make
because
it more fun,
it
and
beats-
yet it never made fun. But
it
he
makes
kept
him.
doing
It
it.
makes
For some
him. It
reason.
makes him faster.
I guess so. I just in no world does tofu delivery require like drifting in street racing. That's
but-
not a real life concept, and so it was like not viable for me.
Oh man.
Sorry, man.
I honestly find it one of the most interesting and kind of ingenious twists to this show is that he got really, really good because he had to not break the tofu in the car.
Yeah, but he could have just
And
not
he-
driven as fast to do that.
And then he would have wasted more of his time driving around doing something he doesn't want to do. I don't understand how you don't get that.
I guess so. I guess, dude.
like
Like I understand the concept of why. I understand how they wrote it. I just don't find it believable. Sorry, buddy.
I don't know what's so unbelievable about that.
I don't know.
All right,
We'll agree
moving
to
on.
disagree on that
Yeah.
one. and move forward.
18-year-old wants to finish
agree
his
to
chores
disagree.
faster.
Yeah.
Moving on.
But again, yes.
I think it's a fantastic point of the movie.
But like once he gets good and realizes he's good at it and starts going super fast. Sorry, Mikey. I know you have enough of this. Like at that point, you start to realize you're good and you start to realize the skill you have, and it's got to become fun or like be a thing you're proud of or something. It just never phases him. He just does it, and he's amazing at it. And even when his friends all his friends are into that scene and I love that shit and he's amazing and they all can't believe how amazing he is, he still doesn't give a shit, which is so unbelievable.
He does though, dude, because at the very beginning, he's only doing the races because other people are telling him to.
Yeah.
By the very end, he does want to do the race.
He thinks he might want to do the race.
Right.
By the end, he's like, maybe this is kind of fun, but it took
and then
like
if you watch
a
like
long
2 more
time.
episodes of this show past
Then he's
season
like
1,
fucking into it.
you start
He
to
loves
realize
it.
that this is going to be an ongoing thing where he becomes more and more and more invested in it.
Yeah.
And if you invest the time, the show rewards you for that.
Okay. I guess, yeah. I just feel like the show needs to give me a reason to invest the time sooner. And I know you say this is an ongoing manga, it's an adaptation, and so it's not written for that. But in my opinion, that's a failing of a TV show. You know what I mean? Like, yes, okay, you adapted a
Failing of
manga.
a season of a TV show,
Understandable, but if you want to retain viewership,
which they
right?
did very well.
which they did, of course, because because there's anime fans and I'm not one. So I'm comparing this to non-anime shows.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Okay.
Backed him down.
You did, yes, of course. But like, I have my perspective, right?
Listen, you're not going to break my tofu.
Your tofu can be whatever it's going to be. I know you're not even eating tofu, right? Am I right? Yeah. Okay, so like one more thing about Takumi is the deep level of disinterest makes it kind of janky. Like, here's how I would have written it, okay? Instead of being disinterested, he's like maybe a shy new kid in the scene, right? And he slowly grows more passionate, intense, and confident with each race. And that would make more sense and be relatable for his character as opposed to like being just disinterested. You know what I mean? Like, make him a shy loner who's slowly becoming accepted as opposed to just like, I don't really care.
Yep.
Wait, I found a thing I like. You know what I mean? That makes it more believable to me.
I hear what you're saying though, but I think you're jaded because
I am jaded as fuck, dude.
yeah, because
About this show, yeah.
Well, not only this show, but you have experienced like current anime, and you've seen this trope over and over and over again. But at the time, like, this trope was still relatively new.
I'm just talking about relatability of character. And so if you have a shy kid who has social anxiety and he's slowly becoming accepted in a team and that's his motivation for getting like more interested and liking the racing, that makes more sense.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's the thing. At the time when you're a 14-year-old kid watching this and you're looking at street racing, it's a fucking power fantasy. It's a street racing.
You and your fucking power fantasies.
Dude, these are all power fantasies.
You're right. I hear you.
Like,
I hear you.
You don't want to be that shy kid. Right? That's why people like watching OP characters.
I just have never liked OP characters. I don't know if that's me, like my problem, but like there's got to be other people out there who have that opinion like me.
Oh, absolutely. I hate, like, for example, isekai is one of the most overly saturated anime genres out there. I still watch it, and I generally hate OP characters that come out right out of the gate with no, like, I earned my fucking power.
Me too.
Right? Like they didn't earn it. They was just giving it to them. But like, but it's the same.
But he
same
could have earned
idea.
it, is what I'm saying. They could have written it in a way where it's like made more
So
sense.
you want to watch the motherfucker deliver tofu for a fall season?
No, I want to. No, that's not what I'm talking about, dude. That's not what I'm talking about. I want him to like earn his acceptance in the group in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, shy kid. People start to realize he's good at racing.
Yeah.
The acceptance of the group partially comes from the car he's driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that kind of sucks too.
Why?
Because like what you're accepted in a group because you have a car that's also not yours, it's your dad's.
Is that not the most like?
But it has nothing to do
teenager
with his
thing you've ever heard in your
personality.
entire life?
I guess so, but again, it doesn't. It doesn't seem to impact him as a character. Do you know what I mean? Like, he never really feels the joining of the group. You know what I mean? That's not a part of this, which seems like a more relatable story to me than a guy who starts to love racing. Anyways, I digress. I just had written a better version in my head for me, and I wanted to tell you guys. You disagree.
Wait. Jordy, hold my hand for a second. Okay, we're holding
love
hands.
holding your hand.
So acceptance is everything.
Oh, is it?
Acceptance is everything.
Yeah.
Just repeat that after me.
I won't.
He's saying it so soft.
It's okay. Just acceptance is everything.
No.
Acceptance.
I'm good.
Motherfucker.
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. I'm okay. You want to hold hands still?
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of holding hands, let's talk about Mogi and the relationship arc. And I'll just come straight out with it that I found it to be completely substanceless. And her in general, she just has no personality.
So
She's a nothing character.
No. So the thing
She
about
loves him.
Yeah.
But why?
Here's the thing about Mogi is she
think
is
it's
kind of bland
dark, mysterious.
as far as her character goes.
Yeah.
Like and how she portrays herself.
Yeah.
But she's in a fucked up situation.
Explain how.
So you don't see it in the first season, but like
Weird.
motherfucker.
Like, okay, no. Here's how did you perceive her relationship with her?
Her dad.
That was a
Father.
weird one. What's the fuck? He's a pervert. He's a perv.
So you think that's her actual dad?
I don't know.
So that's not her actual dad.
Okay.
So yeah, you don't find that out until later.
Man, that's the kind of shit you have to give me in the first season, man. You have to.
That's the kind of reason you watch a second season,
If
man.
it was interesting, I would have. But it was not.
But you don't know until you watch it.
They present me with this bland scenario of a pervy dad once or twice.
Yeah.
They never go into it. They never explore it, and I'm expected to keep watching this bland show because
But it's
of something that I
foreshadowed.
don't expect is going to happen. I
Foreshadowed.
would
It's
never.
heavily
Yeah.
in the first season.
How?
Okay,
You didn't leave
the-
that first
yeah.
season wondering what the fuck was up with her relationship
So
with her dad?
I
even-
did, but it didn't make me think anything different than he was just a perv, and it was weird, and like probably some like weird cultural thing I didn't understand. Maybe.
Yeah.
You wrote that off where I was like, I want to find out what happens with that.
Yeah.
So-
I kind of didn't, to be honest with you, based on the way they
Well,
presented
yeah, I
it.
wanted to
It
see
seemed
her
like
get
the hell
something
out
I
of it.
didn't
Yeah.
want to see.
I wanted to see her get the hell out of it.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. She
So-
didn't even seem too upset about it, though, is the other thing.
Well,
there's
because she
that
put,
it
herself,
seemed
she,
like-
she put herself in that situation, right?
benefit
Like
for
she,
her.
Yeah.
because like there's that one scene where like they talk about having a summer job and they only make X amount of money, and
Yeah.
then she talks to her dad and be like, "Oh, Dad, you spend way more money than that on me, like in a month,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah. He's
right?
He's paying her
It's-
so handsomely.
yeah, like it's
Yeah, it just didn't come across to me anything other than like her dad's rich and kind of pervy. That's
Yeah.
all it gave
And,
me.
right.
Yeah.
And that, I guess, raises some people's eyebrows and says, what?
It did that to me.
Right.
Yeah,
and then those
it should.
and then
Yeah.
those people watch season 2.
I did not have any interest based on that. This, of all the things to maybe watch season 2, this was not one of the reasons I would have cared to watch season 2.
Okay, it was one of the storylines
Yeah.
that I wanted to see
Yeah.
where it went. 'Cause
Interesting.
I was very
Yeah.
confused by it.
Weird. I felt to me in general, her in general didn't have much impact to the story. Like again, their relationship was kind of bland. They didn't really give you even many scenes of it. And then like in the end, I thought maybe it would have an impact on his racing, but it didn't. She just like wasn't even part of that world. She like came to watch his last race, but it didn't make a difference.
no.
Like nothing about her really made a difference to me.
You know what though? It's again with these kind of animes and it being so old school now.
Yeah.
it's you get all of these like classic, like there has to be some sort of love story at some point.
That's how I felt about this.
right? Like and I get that, right? Like so I get that too. Like where you're kind of ticking all the check boxes.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't.
but
Those
we
aren't
don't-
shows I want to watch. I don't want to watch shows that just check off boxes.
Well, watch this when you were fucking 14, man.
Maybe it would have been better, but I'm not 14 and I'm responding to it now.
I just watch season 2 to watch how their
Yeah.
relationship develops because
Yeah.
you know she has an effect on Takumi and like
Yeah.
you know he does grow very attached to her and I mean when he finds out about the arrangement that she has going on.
Yeah.
Eeks.
Again, I just had no idea. Here's a way to put it. In the same way where I said, where you said, what, you just want to watch the guy deliver tofu for a whole season in order to get the backstory? This whole season felt a little bit like backstory.
Well, yes,
mean?
it is.
Like a first
First
season?
No, but like a first season doesn't just give you backstory. It also introduces the ongoing plot, and this didn't give me any ongoing plot. It only
Yeah.
gave me him beating a bunch of guys who were
That's
supposed to be
also
better
true.
than him.
That- but
It
that's
could
also
wrap
the
up
ongoing
nicely,
plot.
yeah.
What's that?
That's also the ongoing plot.
Yeah,
of the whole
probably.
show.
But again, it didn't. He didn't even get a loss in the first, so I'm just like, okay, I know what the rest of the show is going to be about. They didn't give me any reason to believe it was going to be any different. In the love story, in the racing, in the
I think
characters, in anything.
I think you leave that first season having not seen him lose and
Yeah.
wondering if he will, and you leave that first season not seeing the resolution of Mogi's like story.
Yeah.
And her thing with her dad. Those
See,
are two
I had a
big
whole-
motivating factors for me to want to keep watching.
We had complete different approaches then, because to
Yeah.
me, like, and maybe these are harsh words, but to me, it felt like just like bland writing. And I'm like, you just didn't write a good show. And so I'm not going to watch the second season because there was nothing good about this show. I'm sorry, but like that's how I felt about it, man. Yeah. It's okay. They didn't give me any reason to expect any of those things to change because he never lost a race. Why would I expect him to in season 2? And their relationship never advanced. Why would I expect it to in season 2? I expect them to keep making those decisions in writing.
Or you got
because
a curious mind.
Yeah, again, I had ideas, like I said, about how I would have written it and how I would like it to turn out, but I'm not going to tune in because I don't expect it to.
Yeah, this is the hard part of watching some of these classics at our age now.
Yeah, we've come up, and also just watching the first season as well, too.
Well, but the nice thing about that, though, is you have an ending to the first season, right? Like, you don't have this where it wraps up and it could just be a standalone season, where a lot of these animes, like, they end and you don't know when you're going to get a second season, if they're going to release one. And so you're just stuck with.
Yeah. And I guess the ones based on mangas, especially, like, most people already know there's going to be more. If you hear based on a manga, you assume that there's much more to go.
As far as the manga is concerned, like, this season one there's no season one. It just keeps going.
Of course. I just feel like again,
when
when they adapted it, they chose a strange place to end season one because, like I said, they didn't really give someone who isn't familiar with the manga any reason to expect season 2 to be any different. We don't have to talk about that anymore. It's the way that I feel.
Yeah.
And I gotta stand by it because it's the way that I felt.
Okay, let's move on to the next character.
The next character is Itsuki, and he's the best. I loved him. And that's out of character for me because usually those characters piss me off.
Well, because he's
was making me
kind of
laugh
like
continuously.
the best friend in Beck.
Yeah, but that guy
weird-
pissed me off.
Why? It was the same character.
He annoyed me for some reason. This guy, maybe it's because this show needed Itsuki badly. You know what I mean? And also, like,
You don't even deserve him.
I don't need him that badly. I don't need him that badly. Yeah. I don't know. He just kept making me laugh, dude. Every time he would like lose his mind, it was like funny to me. And like maybe
because he also wants his like buddy to like be the best, and he wants to be a
the
part of
comic
it.
relief.
Yeah, he is.
His like
purpose.
street racers don't need girls scene in the hospital bed fucking killed me, dude.
He
Killed me.
buys an 85 by accident.
Yeah, that's so. And then,
Latin.
dude, and then they start making fun of him, and that was another one of the best scenes in the show when they start laughing. That killed me, dude. Also, let's be honest, that dude would fuck the 8.6.
Oh yeah,
He would fuck that car.
That guy has a car fetish.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. He doesn't need women. He needs a car.
He's right. Street racers don't need cars because they'll fuck the tail. Don't need women because they'll fuck the tailpipe of the 8.6. He would for sure.
We're
Am I
not.
right?
We're not. Also, guys, we're not kink shaming by any means.
This one maybe.
Wow, man.
I don't know.
Wow. It's 2021.
Yeah. I don't have any other characters that I felt like needed to be talked about. Do you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Because I felt, again, all the other characters were just kind of carbon copies of each other. They're all just like racer dudes who are supposed to be the best, and then they lose.
not
Oh,
all
man,
of them were dudes.
Okay, but there was one woman who was that as well.
Well, there was technically they were a partner. They were a team.
Okay, and as a team, they were still
And-
that same character.
And her love arc,
Dude,
Mako and
Ikatani, man.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to overlook Ikatani? He's like,
he didn't do anything for me, man.
He's the leader of the crew, man.
But he didn't matter. It didn't make a difference in the show. He's just it was a guy. He didn't even really get
he
any
was like-
races.
yeah.
what?
He didn't really get any races. One at the beginning, and then he got in an accident, and then he never raced again. Like that was it for him.
But his
The impact
Yeah.
that that had on that whole team, dude, on everybody, dude. Like the way that bolstered the attitude and the mentality of the Red Suns to keep on.
Yeah,
on
and I
doing
get
what they
it
were
also
doing.
as a mechanism for a plot. I understood it. As a character, he didn't do much for me, but because it also brought Takumi into the team to race because he couldn't do the race. He had to get a replacement, and he asked the dad, and the dad's like, "No, I'll give you my kid instead."
Yeah.
That's
Well,
how he
like,
got in.
like sneakily. Gave
Yeah,
him-
yeah.
Also, Ikatani drives a Nissan S13, which is arguably one of the nicest cars in the whole show. So like he gets points just for that.
I really wish that I knew more about cars to enjoy this show,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
could share it with you. I really, truly do.
Dude, probably top 3 cars in the whole show for me. Ikatani's car.
Really, yeah?
That light green car that he drives is fucking.
Jordy's just like,
even
yeah,
remember it.
I don't.
Nice, man.
I don't remember it.
But you got nothing to say about him and his arc with.
I have things to
with
say about
Mako?
that arc, but I was going to save that for plot. We can get
Sure,
it
okay,
because
yeah,
again,
yeah.
as a character,
Yeah,
whatever.
we can
That
get
arc, okay, yeah.
How about what about the Takahashi brothers?
I mean, again, just racers who are supposed to be the best and then they lose. Both of them. That's everybody in the show. I'm sorry, man, but that's all they gave me.
That's all. I think that's all you look for. But
I mean, that's unfair. Is it? I mean, maybe not. I don't know. There wasn't much substance to them because all anyone ever talked about is the race and who's going to win. So how am I supposed to get anything else out of their characters? That's all they ever talked about.
It's a shared motivation for all of them, but they're all going about it entirely differently. They all have different mentalities when it comes to racing. They all have different levels of confidence that they're trying to manage. Did
they?
Dude, the Takahashi brothers are very different characters.
A little bit. I get what you're saying, that they have like
there's nuance to all of them, and I think you're overlooking that. And that's what I meant by you're not looking for it.
I guess so. I guess it was just hard to find when there wasn't nothing came of the nuance, because in the end they were just racers who were supposed to be the best and lost. Sorry for being a broken record, but yeah, okay, maybe there was nuance, but it didn't change anything in the show.
The nuance is the sprinklings of their character as it's going to unfold in the seasons to come. Like season 1 gives you a and I agree, it may be a brief look, but you're getting a look at basically what the arc that these characters are going to undertake for the rest of the next 3 or 4 seasons.
Sure. See, and the thing to me is like, because of that Mortal Kombat kind of tournament style writing that they chose for the show, to me, I kind of actually assumed that like we were going to move on to the next tier of people and that all those characters would maybe go away. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of how it felt to me. And
some of them will, and then some of them do stick around in later seasons and are perpetual. Like the Takahashi Brothers are like they're always going to be around, right? But new people come into the fold and new teams.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So, hey, man, listen. I agree. If you really left this season not having any interest in going on, it's not going to change. It's not going to be any different for you. But if you left this season hoping for just a little bit more, I promise you it exists.
Well, and that's the thing, is that if I believe you because I trust you and I know you know what you're talking about. And if I had gotten some of that, I would have probably liked the show better.
You
it would have
needed
scored
more
higher.
of it.
I needed to know it was going to go somewhere when I stopped watching it.
Okay.
Like, let's say I watched that season.
I'm telling you now.
Yeah, fair enough. But like, let's say I'm a kid and I'm not, right? Okay. And then maybe 14-year-old kids feel different. But let's say I'm a kid and I watched that first season and now I have to wait like half a year for the next season to start. I might not give that second season a shot because that first season was didn't give me a reason to want to. You know what I mean?
You'll probably do is go pick up the manga. Because that is beyond.
Some kids might have, and I might have. You're right.
I'm
it's
sure
possible.
in Japan a lot of kids did.
You're right. I'm watching it as me.
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
And this is what happened to me now.
Yes.
We can talk about plot. I'm all janked up about how to even approach this right now. We can get into where can we start, man? Fuck.
I love when you're all janky.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk. I mentioned at one point about like the talk about the racing, because that's kind of like the whole show is about talking, right? Mm-hmm. And at first it was
it's
like
all posturing, dude. It's everybody just trying to like posture in front of the other and be like, yeah, I got the best car. Your car's a piece of shit.
But not even that. It's also about like people knowing more about the cars, right? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of the talk is like, he's going to lose because this, and someone would be like, oh, but actually that car has this and this and this feature and can do this, and so maybe he might be able to win. And so there was a bit of that posturing too, right?
And that's a conversation that'll happen at any racing event or any street race. You know what I mean? There's going to be guys talking shop. Like,
it did, much like the races, start to feel a little repetitive, where it was a pattern. It was like, he can't win because this. Oh, but his car or his skill because this. Mm-hmm. Maybe he can, and everyone's like, what will happen? And then he wins.
Yeah.
Like, really, that's the whole conversation about plot.
That was my one big issue with the rewatch, was just like, oh, I forgot he wins every race in the first stage. And now doing the rewatch, I was like, I wish he lost one.
Yeah. Me too. Big time, dude. Again, we talked about
the
OP.
formula a little bit.
Yeah.
I needed that. Would have made me maybe want to watch the next show, because that would have had to have an impact on his character, right? He would have had to have a knocking him down a peg moment and have to come back from that. Yeah. I'm sure that it does.
Yeah, dude. It's awesome.
I'm sure that
it's fucking
does.
sick, dude. It's super sick.
Oh man, if I didn't have to watch so much anime for this show, I might sit down with you and watch the rest of it.
Yeah.
And maybe one day we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe. It might be nice.
Yeah.
Fuck, he never loses. He's too OP. And again, that's not for me. We've talked about this before. Superman. Mm-hmm, I don't give a shit about Superman. But at least Superman has kryptonite. He didn't have a kryptonite. At one point,
he
And even in that second, even in that second season when he does lose, it's because the car breaks down.
Yeah, it's not him.
It's not him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they still keep it there.
I kind of had hoped at one point that they would make Mogi his kryptonite, because at one point they alluded to that. He was daydreaming and like he wasn't in there.
Yeah.
But that was just another thing for them to say he might lose because
season 2,
and then he wins.
Season 2.
Does he lose because of her?
No, but she starts having a major effect on his mentality when it comes to everything, and that includes when he's behind the wheel.
Yeah. Okay.
She becomes a big factor for him.
Just would have loved for them to give me a hint of that in season 1. A little hint of that in season 1.
I got a little hint of it.
I didn't get much of it. I didn't get any of that.
You might too if you watch it. So watch
Speaking
it.
of the car, fucking his dad keeps like tinkering with it. Like without him knowing.
Yeah,
Isn't that dangerous?
No, because he's fucking making the whole thing like tuned so that it performs better for his races.
But depends what he's doing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If
Yeah.
you're driving this car with such like precision, if something changes in the car and you're not aware of it and you go to drive it in the way you've been used to it, that could be real dangerous. Right?
Yeah, but he also knows the type of driver that his son is, right? He's all about feel. Like he's able to adapt to the
He's
car.
like omnipotent race god. Like he knows everything that's happening. He knows everything that can happen.
Yeah.
He knows everything that will happen.
He races a fucking within his buddy's 8.5 and like it smokes the guy, right?
In this show, did he race on the 8.5?
Yeah. Remember it was those dudes that made
The
fun
dad,
of,
you mean, or him?
No, him.
Oh,
Takumi,
yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah. I do remember
right?
that.
And so
Yeah.
he doesn't need to have a car that's completely in tune to him.
Sure.
Right? Like
Okay, that makes
He
sense.
adapts to the car.
You're right.
To pull
Yeah.
the best performance
In
out
real
of it.
life, with a real character who isn't super OP, that could be real dangerous. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Yes, and it depends greatly on what you're changing because
Sure.
some
Yeah.
things, especially with drifting, could throw
Yeah.
off everything.
I don't remember what it was that he changed, but I remember right away thinking like, you shouldn't be doing that, man.
But then there's also some things that are just preventative that are kind of combating like natural breakdown of a car that's being driven that hard.
That's true, but that's
Right.
not what he did.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like
They talk about
tinkering
that-
with it and messing
Yeah.
with it, there could be a little bit of that going on as well.
And they talked about things like that, preventative maintenance, and like just general wear and tear on your car. Like at one point, they were talking about tires. They're talking like, how good can you get? And someone says like, oh, it depends on how much money you have to spend on tires. And I was like, huh, never thought about that.
Yeah.
'Cause you're fucking your tires up drifting down that hill all day long, constantly.
Dude, that's the number one cost if you want to get into these types of cars, dude. Is like
Yeah.
get prepared to be dropping like $600, $700, $800 on a set of tires like every week.
It's much more expensive
yeah.
than guitar strings or bass strings.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, that's why they derive so much status from it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Is like
Yeah.
they're like, look at what I'm willing to do and what I'm willing to risk to be the best driver. Like,
For sure. I want to talk about the 8.5 because we talked about how funny that was when he thinks he got an 8.6 and he's wrong.
the Levin.
So funny, man. The 11. That was really funny. And like, there was a cool scene here
Yeah.
that I will say was like a little bit of character for Takumi. He like has a good dude moment, right? Where he like tells the guy like, it's kind of cool. You got
Yeah.
a car. I don't have a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that like turned the guy's whole life around. And I was like, I kind of needed him to have one of those moments.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
I
needed to
agree.
win.
I agree.
Especially because when he went on that date with the girl, like
Yeah.
the second date,
Yeah.
after the double date, and like he got into the car accident,
Yeah.
right? Like he's so low on himself, like he needed to win.
He
'Cause
needed to win,
He was
yeah.
a nice guy at the end of the day, a little pervy,
Yeah.
but
And then he
nice
loved his
guy.
car so much, he might have even fucked his 8.5. Do you know what I mean? Like he
Probably
loved that
did.
car after that. He probably did. Yeah. He didn't fuck in the 8.5, but he might have fucked the 8.5. Let's be
Definitely
honest.
did not fuck in it.
Yeah. The other thing about that car is like it was a cool mechanism in a way because I knew it was going to get confused with the 8.6. That's the point of writing that car in. Of
course.
And you knew he was going to have to race in it.
yeah.
So while saying it's a cool mechanism, it also was so painfully predictable that it kind of hurt me.
Yeah.
All of that, I was like, okay, well, they're going to do this and this and this and this. And then that and that and that and that happened.
Yeah.
So again, I liked it, but I like the predictability of it was a little painful for me.
Sure.
Yeah. And then you talked about the date, dude, when we almost get like a fan service with that girl, almost a little bit, right? And then he's talking to her. And this is another trope that I fucking hate that I rag on a lot. He's like, oh, I wonder if she's cute or if she has a nice body or if she's beautiful. He literally says those 3 sentences. And then his next sentence is, as long as she's decent looking. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that shit, buddy.
That's the joke.
Yeah, I know, yeah. But they do it continuously, dude. They do it. Anime shows are always doing that. It's all about.
Yeah.
For sure.
They never say like, I wonder if she's nice. I wonder if we have things in common.
Yeah.
I wonder if she'll make me laugh or she'll think I'm funny. They never say that shit, man.
A little social commentary. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like it's like any high school anime, right? It's always some sort of weird harem. Do you know what a harem is?
Like a bunch of girls.
Yeah, we've talked
Yeah.
about this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually like one guy, like a bunch of girls,
Yeah.
and the guy's always oblivious,
Yeah.
right? So there's always a formula of some sort,
For sure. For
right?
sure.
And usually, like I find, if you can kind of accept it
Oh, okay.
and move away from it a little bit and
Yeah.
focus more on what the anime actually has to offer,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of what the anime had to offer, some of the race, like again, the 8.5 being a mechanism for giving him a new disadvantage. Some of those disadvantages were like promising. And that's as far as I'll say about them to their benefit. And the one I'm talking about specifically is the duct tape death match.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which is pretty much Edward 40 hands, except for you can't steer instead of you can't pee.
Yeah.
Right?
Was that not pretty hype, though?
At first, it was.
It's gum tape.
And it had, again, really good potential, but I think they missed an opportunity because he beats it by just still steering.
Yeah, and almost breaking his...
Almost dislocating his wrist, but I'm like, just dislocate the wrist. How much better would that have been? Showing how much he's willing to sacrifice, you know what I mean? Instead, he just like still drove.
And then he also learns a new way of driving by not having to steer as much.
That's true. Okay, I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
And also in that that race, you knew the dude was going to go for the bump. They set it up undeniably.
Yeah.
And he does. And you also knew Takumi was going to get out of it. And he does.
And
and then
there's
there's
telegraphed. I'll give you that. That one.
like everything.
A lot of it is.
And then there's a car crash because of the bump, which there weren't a lot of in the show. And also, like, no bad ones. Like, wreck one car, please. It's a show about street racing, right?
That was the thing. I thought that they were setting up dude in the red car. I forget his name.
The guy who did the bump.
Yeah. I thought they were setting him up
Kids.
for a much more violent crash.
Yeah,
A
me
much
too.
more violent end. And he, I think he got away really easy, but
They all
I
did.
do know, like, his story kind of continues on as well. And, like,
Yeah.
the night kids in particular, like, always kind of have the bit of...
They're the reckless crew.
They've got a
if
bit of-
anyone's going to crash, it's them.
and they got a bit of infighting going on as well amongst their ranks, right?
I did see that. You're right.
Because Nakazato isn't necessarily respected by everybody in the
Yeah,
Night Kids.
that's
even
true.
though he's the leader and has the sickest car in the whole
Yeah,
show.
that's true. Well, I mean, I assume that's true.
The black car? Yeah, it's a nice.
I believe
car.
you. Yeah, about the wreck. Like, I just feel like they could have killed the guy, and it would have made the show better. Why not? Like, give me some grit. It's a show about street racing. We established at the beginning. You even said that street racing is kind of seedy.
Yeah.
There's drugs involved, right? There's like gangs involved.
Like I said, I was expecting it to.
There was no seedy element.
It's still a shonen at the end of the day, though.
Seinen.
Is it a seinen?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna say slice of life because it's just so plain and real, but I don't know fucking shit that I'm talking about. Because to me, there's like to me it felt like Beck. It's like a slice of life on a topic.
Basically,
Yeah.
okay, here.
Yeah.
Anything they didn't do, well, like on the hill racing,
Yeah.
was slice of life. Going to
Yeah.
the beach. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Fucking hanging out at the gas station.
Yeah.
Checking out the guy's new car.
Yeah.
Making fun of him.
Yeah.
Going back to the beach again. And like all that shit. It's like, that's very slice of life.
Okay, sure.
I will-
and what's
I will
the
give you
term
that.
for the racing part? Like, there's a term for that kind of genre?
Of like car racing anime?
No, like I don't know. What is you said seinen?
Seinen
Seinen is
it's
the
for like young
slightly
adults.
older shonen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shonen
okay.
would be like teenagers, like maybe 15 and under, 16 and under.
I see what you're saying,
Seinen
yeah.
is like 16 to like 25.
Okay,
is
because it's
your-
racing and it's not magic.
It's,
For once.
this was targeted at people who could drive.
How do
Yeah.
you know it's not magic? Maybe Takumi's magic.
Honestly, this show's too boring for that. They didn't take any risks. They didn't write anything interesting, so I know they're not going to write magic into it.
Now, the cigarettes that Takumi's dad smokes are magic, and that's how he knows so much about racing.
Yeah.
That's why he's a chain smoker.
I mean, you know how much I like call you out for like making shit up. That's what's
doesn't
happening
sound
here.
that
But
made up.
also, like, I fucking wish. I wish, dude. I mean, at least Beck had the weird dog,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's not normal life.
Frankenstein dog isn't normal.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's blue at one point and spotted. Like, that's not real life. Okay, so let's move on to the next interesting thing in the plot, and I say interesting with a grain of salt, please. Is Mako and that whole arc.
That's my favorite arc, man.
I mean, you get a fan service, so that explains why you like
It's
it.
not the fan service. It's because it has the most realistic portrayal of what it would be to find somebody you really like and then not know what to do when you find out that your pride and your ego is hurt because they're a better driver than you, and then you also have the whole fact that you're a young adult who doesn't even know how to speak to women.
Yeah,
and like
which he fucking didn't.
he didn't, and he gets all up in his head about it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and he like, we've been there. Like, it was young adults. Like, you get all up in your head. Oh, maybe they're thinking this. Maybe they're thinking that.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then he doesn't go, and you have your boss tell you you're a fucking idiot and you need to go see this girl.
Yeah, I'll give you the humiliation aspect. I
Yeah.
did get a little bit of that because you're right. She fucking owned him, dude. She owned him so hard. She's like, leads him on. And then she's like, actually, I want to race Takumi, but I'll fuck you for it.
Dude.
Like, really? And not just I'll fuck you, but like I'll give you my virginity for it.
Yeah.
I'll give you my virginity
When she
to race your friend.
When she
to
dropped,
race your friend.
dude, when she dropped that part of the deal,
Yeah.
the record scratch that went on in my brain.
Immediately, yeah, me as well, dude.
I was just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Jordy is going to fucking lose his mind
I
over that.
lost it, dude. I couldn't handle it because, like, honestly, what the fuck? Who writes that and thinks that's like a good thing to write into a show?
And the crazy thing is, like, she almost tries to like clarify later what
Yeah.
she meant and
But
how
she-
like it didn't kind of come out right.
But she doesn't change it.
She doesn't really do a good
She
enough
just goes,
job.
by the way, when I offered you my virginity to race Takumi, what I meant is I'll fuck you for the first time I've ever fucked anyone to race your friend.
Yeah. No,
Like,
but
that's
she,
such funny shit.
no, she said that like I didn't want it to be a deal. She's like, I actually do like you. I want you to be my first.
Yeah.
She does.
You're right. She did say that.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
did say that. Yeah. Anyways, that was fucking crazy, dude. And here's another thing. Another easy opportunity they missed because he could have lost to her quietly without ruining his reputation, without anybody knowing. She was going to quit from racing, right? No one was there to witness the race. If he had lost to her, how good of a win would that have been for him?
Yeah.
Or how good a loss would that have been?
Yeah,
He
as-
could still go through the mental turmoil of working through it without having to affect how he looks to all the other racers.
Oh yeah. Well,
I
not
should have
to
written this
mention-
show.
But also, it would have made sense too because it was a new mountain for him. Like he wasn't familiar.
Exactly.
Like, it-
Well, I mean, every race had its reason why he could lose.
yeah.
So, like, I don't give a shit about that. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. But, like, again, he could have lost in this one and it would have been believable and it would have been, everything would have worked out for him in the end still the same. They could have kept going with the same show.
Yeah.
They just chose not to because they don't make hard choices in the show.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the final race.
Final race.
And then we're almost done. By this time, I'm checked out. I'm
Yeah.
99% sure Takumi will win, and he does. They build Ryusuke up so hard, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And of course, it's going to be close in the end, but that doesn't matter either. Of course, he's
Yeah.
going to win. There's that wiener kid who challenges him to a reign in the race.
Yeah. He was a wiener.
And all that served was to just delay the inevitable. It was just
Yeah.
another race for Takumi to win. It didn't make a difference to me at all. Jay probably has opinions otherwise.
No, for me, if there was one race that he should have lost, that would have made the series or the first stage is the final race.
Honestly, if he loses the final race, I want to see what happens in season 2.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like if he lost that final race,
Yeah.
I would have been like, okay,
Yeah.
he's got to get his shit back together now.
Because how badly do you want to watch the next season when the first season ends on a cliffhanger?
Yeah.
You need to know.
Exactly.
You need to know how it resolves.
Yeah.
There was nothing for me to need to know how to resolve.
Not to mention, like when you look at like how what is it, Ryusuke?
Ryosuke,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ryosuke. He has so much fucking data.
Yeah.
Like crazy data, and then he like takes his car and like takes away horsepower.
Yeah, that was a weird move.
Right? Like-
I mean, you knew it was methodical and calculated, and you knew it was because he knew that's how he's going to have the edge, right? But like from a person who doesn't know about cars, I'm like, that's
handicapping
That's
himself.
weird.
Yeah.
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 Part of me actually thought if he was doing it on purpose and he wanted out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah.
But you know what? Ultimately, you know, you're set up for one hell of a rematch, which you know is
Yeah.
eventually going to happen one day, and you know
Yeah.
that Ryosuke is going to gather all the data he needs to, and he's going to reevaluate. And,
Yeah.
And then also, again, this leaves the door open for his younger brother Keisuke to maybe step up and avenge his brother. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you're getting all these reasons to watch season 2, and I think that's fucking awesome. That there's just so many reasons to watch a season 2. And not just season 1. I love that about this show.
I'm not going to repeat my opinion again. I can't repeat it again. We all know how I feel about it. We'll leave it at that. Anyways, he wins the race. The end.
The end.
Oh,
Yes.
he like learns this skill about driving in the gutter.
Yeah, that was like
Which
so
I
early.
Googled. It's a thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's like almost impossible to do.
Yeah, you have to be really fucking good.
But while I'm watching it, I was like, the gutter? I was like, okay. But
Gutter
not
trash.
a car guy, not a racing guy.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a weird way to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he wins.
Yeah.
And that's it.
All right. So why don't we end it off there?
Yeah.
What's your rating?
I gave it a 4 out of 10, dude.
4. That's actually pretty good.
I did say
No.
up top, dude, there's reasons why I didn't hate this show. I just don't know what the reasons are.
what I will say is like this has a vibe about it that is
Yeah.
super 90s.
Yeah.
It is super comforting almost to like the kid in me and like
Okay.
Yeah, the
and, like,
nostalgia's there.
It is the nostalgia for sure.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I didn't watch it as a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't watch this until I was like in my teens. So like I didn't watch it when I was like this came out when I was 7. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I didn't watch it for a very long time after that. So I don't have those feelings, but it's still like it fires that kind of thing up in me. a
Sure.
little bit,
Okay.
You know, and then obviously like again, if you're into cars, like,
That's another thing for sure.
that's gonna definitely affect your rating.
Yeah.
I was expecting you to like hate across the board.
Yeah.
The fact that there's something about this show that you can't explain that
I
you
don't
kinda,
know what
that
it
you
is,
kind of
man.
like.
I don't know what it is.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
That is honestly best case scenario for me. I don't
Okay.
give a fuck about your rating.
Hell yeah.
The fact that you see a little sliver of magic in this
Yeah.
that you can't explain, bro.
Something.
That you know what
Yeah.
that was Dragon Maid for me too, right?
Yeah.
What you're feeling right now.
You wished for me for Dragon Maid.
I wish that you had that, but
I'm sorry I didn't.
I'll take it on this one.
Do you want to know something I'll give you though? There's for some reason of all the shows we've watched, like sometimes I think of Dragon Maid for some reason. It just pops into my head.
love
And
that.
I don't know how I feel about it, but like that maybe we'll like go back and posthumously give it one more point for that.
Whoa, that's a 3 out of 10.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
3
a
out of 10.
fucking-
I don't know.
It just lingers in your brain.
I know it's a 3 out of 10 because I remember very specifically
Yeah.
that you gave it to.
Yeah.
I'll never forget.
Okay. Well, you can change it to 3. What do you think, buddy?
For me, I see. This is the hard part. If you asked me, like,
Yeah, I need the pre-rating.
my pre-rating would have been like an 8.5.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, because
from a
it-
non-car guy.
From a non-car guy, because there was also like back then I loved racing games and I loved the fact that
it was like a racing video game in show form.
exactly right,
Yeah.
and there's still a certain level of excitement, especially as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, and that kind of notoriety and the bravado of like the machismo, if you want, you want to say it,
No,
right?
there's that element in racing no matter what.
Yeah,
That's the
right?
thing, right?
Which
Yeah.
was just super cool as a kid. So pre-rewatch, it was an 8.5.
post rewatch.
Rewatch.
Oh man.
Oh, it's rough. I give it like a 6.5. 6.
Okay.
That's not that
Six.
bad.
It's not
That's-
too bad.
yeah, that's
You're
not
not
bad.
dropping down to me levels.
No,
but
no. I would never go down to your level, man. Are you fucking kidding me?
Rude. Fucking rude.
But yeah,
Okay.
it's one of those like I wish I just didn't watch it and just
Yeah.
had the feeling of the
Oh,
nostalgia.
man.
I'm gonna guess
You guys
Jay's
are
rating
killing it.
9 out of
Yeah.
10 because we
No.
don't give
No.
10s.
No, you know what? Like, listen, dude, I was pretty preoccupied this episode shooting down your criticisms because like
Because I had a lot of them.
you had a lot of them and like
I will say, sorry,
I
to-
don't like a lot of the ones that you had.
And
Like,
to interject, I will say that like there were a couple big ones that I just couldn't get past.
Yeah.
That I probably said like 100 fucking times this show.
Yes.
I'm sorry for that, but I just they're like I
it's
couldn't
one of
get
those,
past.
listen, but it's
Yeah.
one of those shows, and if people want, to give this a chance, or if people just gave this a chance, there's gonna be people that agree with you, man.
Probably.
100%. There's gonna be people that wanted fucking more out of this first season that are
yeah.
just not gonna care.
I can't be that unique.
No, you're probably not.
I honestly,
Oh, rude. Fucking rude.
Jordy, you're a dime a dozen, man. Honestly, we could replace you at the snap of a finger.
Okay. I'm out. Peace.
No, but I do see there are definitely issues with the show.
Sure.
And I don't think it's perfect.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a 7.5.
Yeah.
And that's, purely based off of the vibe, a lot of the visuals I really liked.
Yeah.
I love that old school animation. I love the fucking cars to death. Obviously, you guys know that now.
Totally.
And,
Oh, I knew that for her. I knew this was going to be a heated one for
I
Jay.
didn't know that until you told me we were watching the show.
and yeah, I don't know, just like fuck. If Tokyo Drift is your favorite Fast and Furious movie,
Yeah.
go watch this anime. That's all I'll say.
There you
It's
go.
true.
And I feel like there's a lot of you out there who agree that that's
Yeah.
the best Fast and Furious
Actually,
movie.
funny enough, the only one scene that always reminds me of this anime in Tokyo Drift is when the dude drifts around the two girls, like circling and circling, and then gets the number.
Hell yeah.
I think I've only seen the first Fast and Furious movie. And I
Yeah.
don't remember it at all.
I mean, Fast and the Furious now is fucking
Rock.
ridiculous.
Actually,
yeah.
I would watch it now because I like The Rock.
Yeah, but like they're fucking taking rock, like they're like deflecting rockets off of their cars after they jump off of shit. Like,
it's not even really about the cars anymore.
It's not about racing. It's just about crazy CGI stunts that they can do.
And
That sounds like a better movie to me.
That's an awful,
and like
awful
with-
fucking movie.
but with Fast and Furious, like when that first movie dropped,
Yeah.
people loved cars all of a sudden. Like,
sure.
Growing up, when that
Yeah.
first movie came out, all of a sudden everybody was like, "Whoa, cool car! You neon lights under your car. That's fucking sick."
Totally. All
You
my
know?
friends had
Now
the
you
fucking
can also
undercarriage
buy
lights.
neon lights off of Amazon.
Look at our glow up. Mikey's super proud of it. He worked really hard on it.
But like Fast and Furious kind of did that for North America with the
Yeah.
whole tuner scene, but like this did it in Japan just like years before.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Big impact on this show, and you know, again, for the culture, definitely check it out. And if you like cars, definitely check it out.
Totally. I agree
And-
with everything he's saying right now.
And one more thing you'll probably agree with, that if you like this this anime and you like cars, I got a print
Hell yeah.
that I just made
yeah.
as well that you can check out on my site, as well as these hoodies that I got done up. Okay, this is the Night Kids one. I got one for the Night Kids. I got one for the Red Suns, and I got one for the Akina. Oh God, what is their team name?
Race people.
Race stars. I
Fast
think.
people.
Yeah. Anyways. If you want to be a fast person, wear one of these hoodies and buy a print. But yeah, check it out on hanger91.bigcartel.com.
They're clean as hell. As much as I didn't like the show and don't give a shit about cars, I would wear the shit out of those clothes, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Any day. Any day.
Yeah.
And
The
all
fucking
you
merch
tuner
is
heads out
bang
there,
on.
all you car guys out there as well. Like, you want that on your shop wall. You know you do.
It fucking is tight. It's tight as hell. I kind of want it on my wall. I don't even give a
There
shit.
we go.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it'll remind me of how much I angered Jay in this episode.
I think it brought us closer together.
Yeah. I'm going to draw big X's on mine, like regular X over everything.
I'll kill you.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, wait. Before, where can people find
Yeah,
you?
you guys
I was
fucking-
going to get to that.
You guys
Well,
need your
fuck.
plugs?
Yeah.
Plug away.
So where can they find you?
Reaching in on Instagram. I'm there doing stuff sometimes. You can see me.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram at Korean Barbecue 86.
You remembered it this time.
I know, I did.
Good job.
I actually, to be honest with you, I almost didn't know if there was an 86 at the end or not.
I'm proud of you for remembering. You made the right choice. Yeah. All right, guys. So don't forget, like, subscribe, give us a rating, please, if you enjoyed this. It would mean a hell of a lot.
Yes. We love you.
We fucking love you.
Bye, Shreebs.
See you later, Schweebs.